Shut up! Shut up! Shut up!
I'm gonna start it from there. Hello.
No!
Hello, everyone.
Hey, you
This is the
guys. Oh
second
my god.
episode.
Second installment. How old is this? You guys, they said we couldn't do it. They really said we couldn't do it, and here we are. Here we are. We made it to the second episode
It got
of How Old
green-lit.
Is This? Yeah.
What color is this? Green lit.
Oh my god, you guys. How is everybody? This is now your chance to tell me about how you are. Go. And that will be enough. Back to us. How are you,
Now
Julian?
let's give them like 5 minutes of silence so they can share their thoughts.
This is an interactive podcast.
Yes.
You
We're
get
here
to
to listen to you.
yeah. You guys, wherever you are, whether you're home alone or you're in the car or you are, out in the world, I want you to speak to us as if you were part of this
Because
podcast.
you're a part of this. You're important to us.
Guys, oh my god, guys, without your support, we we would be nothing. We could never do this without you guys. Thank you so much. Love and appreciate you. We're gonna do
Talking about nothing.
oh,
Amounts. There are big
nothing
amounts and there are little amounts.
of joy, perhaps?
Yes.
Oh,
This
is
week's
that
album is called Little Joy by Little Joy.
wait. Little Joy by Little Joy?
Yeah, they do that sometimes.
How does that work?
I mean, it's easy because it's also their only album.
You know
So,
what? No, you know what? Let's get into
Little
that
Joy,
actually.
known by Little Joy, famously
No, no,
known by
no.
their only album, which has their name.
Let's get into this really quickly
When bands
for,
put their own name as the album.
yeah, for the introduction of this podcast. Let's just speak about this for a couple of minutes.
Okay, well, I'm gonna time your couple of minutes.
Oh,
I can say
wow.
that, well, what do we have? We have Sears After Sex for sure.
Little
Uh,
Joy.
Little Joy.
Well, then also you have artists doing their debut album and just titling it
Yeah, like
as their
David
name,
Bowie.
like Addison Rae.
No,
You love
that's
her.
only called Addison. It's not
Oh,
called
is
Addison
it?
Rae. Yeah, it's only called Addison.
Oh, okay, guys, I have
And
to be honest. I have not listened to that album.
I have. It's very good. And the art direction makes me feel like everything could be a lower back tattoo, like a tramp stamp.
I want a tramp stamp really bad.
What if you get the Addison tramp stamp and then you listen to the album?
Absolutely not. That is absolutely not something I will be doing. You have Taylor Swift by Taylor Swift.
Is that her first one?
Yeah.
Huh. I thought it was
Um,
Reputation.
her first?
It's a joke. I've listened to
Oh
her
my
whole discography
god.
thanks to you.
Don't say
The
that.
National has it, the National, right? Yeah.
Yeah, and it's awful. The National has it, the National, and it's really, really bad. And when I first listened to it, I felt like I deserved an apology.
The National self-titled album makes me want the National to be called Sleepwell Beast, like the band.
Hmm.
Change the name. No more
Change the
National.
name. The National what? The National
No.
what?
Uh, well,
Uh,
this is a podcast about music and finance, so the national currency.
guys, since releasing our episode, we released it today actually, which we
Allegedly.
then which we then had like an hour-long argument about. But, moving past that, moving past our hour-long argument, since releasing that episode, we have actually seen an inflow of $1 billion into our bank accounts.
Crazy.
It's actually crazy how easy this is.
Thank
Everyone
you, Magdalena Bay. You're gonna be
every
receiving $10 for your contribution.
whoa, 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 that's
Oh,
a little much.
yeah.
10
A
bucks,
little
that's like
much, a little joy.
a little joy. 10 bucks is like 2 coffees,
Where
maybe even 3.
we live in such different places.
Oh, yeah, guys, I feel like we maybe
Now
didn't address this.
let them let them
Let
figure it
them
out on their own.
Yeah, alright. But, yeah, no, we released our first episode. I have listened to it twice. I have discovered a deep, deep love for my voice. I I always knew I liked speaking.
I have the contrary.
I
I
always knew I
feel
liked
I'm
speaking, and
ineloquent,
now
affabled. I don't know. I need to go slower and to articulate the things I vocabularize. I
well,
don't
then you're
know.
just gonna sound like a weird professor.
I am a weird professor.
You would be.
I am. I was giving lessons and stuff.
That does not make you a professor.
But it's a professor, but then I write it wrong with like triple F and seven S's. A professor.
Whatever you say. I was listening to the first episode, and once I got past the audio quality not being exactly the way I want it, and it won't be exactly the way I want it. Hey guys, I'm tired. I don't want to figure this out anymore. Therefore, we will not figure out how to make the audio quality better. We both have mics.
Guys, we are retiring.
Guys, this is the last episode. No, okay, because we could both record it on like I could record it on my end. Julian could record it on his end. And then we could upload those to a Google Drive, and then one of us could download both of them and put them into like a software and edit them together. And it could just be very difficult and stupid. And we will not be doing that until we reach 100 listeners. Once we reach a
When we
hundred,
had 100 listeners, Sophia would
yeah.
get herself internet to her apartment so she can actually upload audio to the cloud.
Yeah, because guys, I don't even have Wi-Fi. I'm doing this off of my phone hotspot. Like, I'm
Like
doing
a
it on
pro.
my yeah, I'm doing it off of my hotspot that I'm turning on my iPhone. My iPhone is overheating in the process. It's summer. It's really hot. I'm overheating. My phone is overheating. My laptop will start overheating at some point because it's stupid and doesn't work. Um, it's a mess. It's a mess, and we're kind of for now done figuring it out. We just want to do it. So this is what it's gonna sound like for now. Deal with it. I don't know. But when we do, and I'm saying when, because we will, when we reach 100 listeners, perhaps we
Who
will
get
give it a try.
better?
I can change, I can change, I can change, I can change. And maybe we will. Maybe. Maybe. But yeah, other than that, the last thing I want to say before we actually get into what we're supposed to get into is I would like to address one thing that I have been seeing online for the past like week or so. And I just want to address this and just share my personal opinion. Um, and that is I will not engage in Benson Boone hate. I won't do it. I'm not I listen, I will never open Spotify, search up Benson Boone, and click on his songs. With that being said, he's kind of funny. He's kind of funny. I like the way he speaks, and it makes me really sad that he's getting so much hate. And I'm sure he's sad. And as an empath, doesn't feel good, man. Doesn't feel good. So if you, as a listener of How Old Is This, engage in Benson
I
Boone.
am not endorsing this message, by the way.
If you, as a listener of How Old Is This, engage in Benson Boone hate, just know. Remember that segment at the beginning when we told you that you are a part of this? If you engage in Benson Boone hate, you're not a part of this.
But
Also, if you
that's from 50% of her stake of this podcast.
here's the thing. Also, if you're a Benson Boone active listener, you are also not a part of this. So,
Okay, okay. I can
strike a
hop on
perfect
this.
balance.
I'm gonna tell you what
Strike
the perfect balance is. For the people that represent the 50% of my stake of this podcast, you need to learn how to properly hate. You're just, I know it's very appealing to just seeing him do front flips and back flips and listening to 20-second snippets, which are just like a combination of Imagine Dragons and like, what's the name of the One Direction guy?
Harry Styles.
Yes, but bad, because I will admit Harry Styles can make okay music. You need to
Whoa.
learn how to hate properly. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna listen to the whole discography. I think he only has two of them.
No,
Uh,
he only has one, and it just came out.
okay, so you're gonna go listen to that album, understand why you hate it, write it down, and then when someone is, oh, you're just a hate, no, you're gonna give proper arguments. You need to learn how to hate properly.
Well, if people are giving proper arguments, that is not hating.
No, it is
That
hate
is just
because believe
constructive
me, I
criticism.
hate Hosier with all of my life. And I've listened to the whole discography, and I can tell you why I hate it and why I think it's lame, and I don't think the writing is anything wonderful. Just I I can hate properly Hosier.
Well, listen, here's the thing. Like I said, I will never turn on a Benson Boone song unless in the future he makes something that I enjoy. But for now, I am not turning on Benson Boone. I am also not like opening Twitter or X or whatever and typing out at Benson Boone, your music fucking sucks and I hope you die in your sleep.
Okay, no, obviously no,
Well,
but if
that's what
you're
I'm talking about.
arguing in a party about Benson Boone, you need to argue properly if you happen to engage in such a thing.
I
Can we
just
stop talking about Benson Boone, please? I beg you.
Okay, guys, so for next week's episode, we will be discussing Benson Boone's debut album.
You you have the pick for next week, so
I literally
up
do.
to
I
you.
could do this.
Okay,
I hold
let's
all the power. That's kind of amazing. Well, guys, speaking of hating things, I'm about to
today's today's album is Little Joy.
and I'm about to hate it.
Awesome.
Ugh. Well, Julian, this is your pick.
I know.
So
Let me talk
how
about it.
about
Let
how
me
about
talk about it.
you
Let me
get
give
into it?
images and stuff.
Okay, I'm gonna take a sip of my beer.
What hour is it? Oh, okay, time difference. So Little Joy, uh, it's a band and also an album. The band consists of mainly three people. Those are the drummer of The Strokes, whose name is Fabrizio Moretti, that even though sounds Italian, he's Brazilian. And then there's also this guy, Rodrigo Amarante, which I'm not very sure, but I also think that he's Brazilian. And a girl, which is mainly like back vocalist, but also has a couple of songs that are predominantly hers in the album called Binky Shapiro. And this album is very special for me because it was one of maybe 10 or 12 CDs that were always laying around the floor in the car that me and my mother had when I was like 7 or 8.
What car was it?
It was a Hyundai Getz, a
What color?
gray one.
But was
And
it silver or gray?
it was gray. It was like darker grayish. It's a small car, but it's a very efficient car because where I am, the geography is really, really hard to come around. There's ups and downs and mountains and seas and Amazon and blah blah. A car like I don't know, a Spark will not survive where I'm at, and the Gets never failed. So laying around the floor in the Hyundai Gets, there was the Little Joy CD, and this one was my favorite to listen to when we would go on like road trips with my mother's friends and their children. They're usually of my age, and there will be a lot of bags in the tiny car, but we will put the bags on like the passenger seats, and the kids will go to the back. Like how do you call this in English?
The trunk?
Yeah, we'll get into the trunk and we'll call it La Perrera, which means like the dog house or the dog house. How old is this? I think 2007, 2008. And
8.
it's very, even though I think it was recorded in the US, probably in Los Angeles or in New York, it's very Latin American coded because most of the members are either half or completely Brazilian. And there's some different languages here and there. Also, the sounds and the textures and the colors feel very like in the beach, but not a very plastic one. Like everything feels very organic. That I can say about Little Joy.
Well, I was gonna say to me immediately because I've heard this album before because you just would play it all the time. But I knew some of the songs, and then some of the songs I probably have heard, I just didn't remember. Um, but I put the album on for the first time within this past week to start listening to it, and immediately I was like, "Oh, this is so Portuguese. This is so hashtag Portugal coded. The Portugal vibes are off the charts. It's almost like the country is part of the band. It feels like Portugal is the fifth Beatle, but it's just the fourth
Fourth, Little
Little
Joy there.
Joy. It's the fourth Little Joy, Portugal, the country, not the man. Um, and then I listened to the album. Well, then they start speaking Portuguese. And of course it is Brazilian Portuguese, but Portuguese nonetheless. Well, then I also researched it a little, and they met in Lisbon at a music festival. So I guess you can just tell. They met in Lisbon, and boy, can you tell. And as someone who has been to Portugal one time, maybe
As a certified
10,
professional.
yeah, as a certified Portugal traveler, I've been to Portugal one time, some 10, maybe 11 years ago. I feel highly qualified to say that this album feels quintessentially Portuguese. And I feel like I am correct in this.
Yeah, I wanted to add like the sound palette of production, guitars, mellow. like mellow tones that all of this project has is very. If you like Devendra Banhart, if you
Yeah.
like Vetiver, if you like, the type of indie, soft, a lot of guitar, organic percussion, this is the type of album.
Here's the thing I will say. I have a lot of things to say about this. And I'm gonna spoil it right now, and I'm gonna make you frown. Not a lot of them are good.
Fuck you.
I don't have many good things to say about this, and I am a huge Devendra Banhart enjoyer. Love the guy, and he's sexy. And so is Fabrizio Moretti.
Some people think he's my father.
Fabrizio Moretti?
No, 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 Devendra Banhart.
Oh, yeah.
Because my
Yeah,
mother
yeah,
has a
yeah.
picture with him, and and
Therefore, he's your father.
like some people ask, is that your dad? And I just run with it.
Well, I love the guy, and I love Fabrizio Moretti, and the Strokes I have maybe a complicated relationship with because, um, I love I love one album by The Strokes, which is "Come Down Machine." I love that album. I really, really love that album. It's like one of my all-time favorite albums, although pretty low on the list. However, I'm not hugely into the other projects, as in the other albums. Like, I went through a 2-month period in 2023. I want to say it was like October, November when I was really into Angles, and that's kind of it. And I have a love-hate relationship with the Strokes where sometimes I hear a song and I'm like, yeah, this is nice, but sometimes I hear a song and I'm like, the more attention I pay to it, the more I'm like, oh, this kind of sucks. Why does this kind of suck? And I know the entire discography because I tend to surround myself with stroke enjoyers, kind of by
Strokers.
accident. The strokers, yeah.
I tend to be with the
I
strokers.
I roll with the strokers, and so I am exposed to their music quite a bit, but I don't reach for it a lot. With that being said, this is the best, I think, Strokes side hustle, side project, like
Really?
solo thing. Yes.
Oh, this I can get into.
What we'll go on then.
So many of them have side projects. So
Well, they all do.
I know, I know, I know.
And they're all
They
really
have many.
bad.
No, what? Okay, you don't like the Voids? The
I
Voids.
hate the
You
voice.
hate you don't like
I
Virtue. Virtue is such a good album.
What's that one album from like 2018?
I think so, yeah. The one
I Oh
that
my god,
has
it's
like the stock
so
market
bad.
crashing in the
Yes, it's
cover, yeah.
so
You don't
bad.
like it.
I was going to bring the voids up and say the voids are really bad because some of the Julian Casablancas stuff I do
You mean
listen. I
Alone when he
love,
did the phrases for
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Young?
yeah, yeah. I love, what is it? 11th
Somewhere on the
Dimension?
way, no, something
Yeah.
in this going to silence. Yeah,
You
okay.
sound just like him.
No.
And you share a name. That's crazy. Um, well, yeah, 11th Dimension, and then what's the other song I like? Um,
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 maybe the I'll try anything once. A dumb decision shape
no,
your life. No,
no.
I like that one. The live version.
Wait.
Did you know your favorite Haim was in that live version?
Ugh.
Esther, right?
Oh my god, we can't get
Este,
into this right now.
Este Haim did
First of all,
the
it's
drums.
Esty. First of all,
ST.
it's
I'm
Esty.
Latin American, I don't care.
Okay, but you're the
Este,
fan of the band.
Este Haim
Oh my god.
was the drummer in that Electric Lady sessions of Julian Casablancas, where he did the alternative version of You Only Live Once, which is called I'll Try Anything Once. And it's a beautiful song. and she does not participate in it because it does not have percussion.
Listen, Haim is a band we cannot get into right now, and hopefully we will
My
never get
God,
into.
is my next album pick. Okay, if your next album pick is Benson Boone, my next album pick is Woman in Music Part 3 by Haim.
Oh
This
no.
is my warning.
Haim is a band I cannot speak about without getting really angry, and so is Dua Lipa. So those are kind of off limits on my end. The other Julian Casablancas song I really like is Out of the Blue. So it's Out of the Blue and 11th Dimension. Voids is awful.
You don't know anything about experimental rock. Anyways. So okay then, and
This is
then
the best side project.
Albert Hammond has his solo stuff, and he has some. You have you ever listened to Yours to Keep? I probably
Probably.
played it for you. That's a
Yeah.
very good album, and some people from Little Joy is in that album, and some people, Sean Ono Lennon is in that album. The Vendra
Oh,
is
of
in that
course he
album.
is.
Yeah, all
Of
of those people are
course he
friends.
is. I all those people awaken rage inside of me. They do something to my body and it doesn't feel good. Is Binky Shapiro, first of all, Binky is a crazy name, so I will
Yeah,
refer to her as Jordana. Um,
Pinky.
is Jordana Shapiro related to Shapiro? Is my question.
I think it's just a Jewish surname. It's like
What a
being called
shame.
Smith. Yeah,
What
but
a
for them.
shame. Well, other than the fact
Shapiro
that
shame.
Shapiro, um, other than the fact that Little Joy by Little Joy is quintessentially Portuguese, and I say that
You
as a
Portuguese
Portuguese
expert.
person.
You didn't know how to say, you didn't know how to properly conjugate Portuguese as a person.
Well, you do it then.
Portuguesian.
No, there's no way that's a word. There is.
It's just
Mm.
Portuguese.
Okay, so as a Portuguese gal, this album is quintessentially Portuguese. I also said for time of day, I said this is like 2 p.m. For
Here's the thing,
season,
for me, okay, of course season is summer.
I
Of
said late
course.
summer.
I would say like
I said
middle. I would say middle
I said
summer
like
in Latin America.
End of August, early September.
Okay. Yeah. But for me it's not really
3
a time
p.m.
of day. It feels like a whole road trip with like highs and lows and
Interesting.
okay, let's get into the track list, okay?
Wait. Because let's just acknowledge the fact that you associate this with a road trip because you used to listen to it in the car.
No, more than that, it's because now that I re-listened to it like 3 or 4 times and I was taking down notes, I was like, oh wait, this feels like a very different road trip than the one I remember because it feels like a story of four kind of late 20 to early 30-year-olds in a trip and they're being like entangled romantically and there's some drama. Like it's a whole different feeling to me. But it does
Interesting,
feel
because
like a road trip.
I don't see them in a car. They are in a little Portuguese town.
Yes, I mean you first get that's why I want to get into the track, is you first get into the town with the first track.
The next time around.
The next time around. It's the
Well,
name of
wait,
the first track.
let me finish my initial analysis.
Go on.
I said season late summer. I said day of the week Tuesday. However,
But a
in
vacation, yeah?
yes, in
Yeah.
parentheses, I said it's a national holiday. Not only are these people on vacation, it's a national holiday and everything is closed. Everything is closed and the town is kind of like none of the stores are open. Um, and then last week I gave the album a color and I actually decided to, instead of just giving a color, I've decided to now from now on find the exact Pantone shade that I'm thinking of. So, Little Joy by Little Joy is the Pantone shade 150956 TCX, and that is a shade called Daylily, and it's kind of like an orange yellow.
You will only get this type of technicalities from this podcast. Everybody pull up Google and search Pantone 15 what?
150956 TCX.
There you go.
Check it out for
You're
yourself.
welcome.
Lovely little color. The next time around.
Wait.
Okay.
Now my
Okay.
turn. From the
Oh, go
album
ahead.
cover. From the album cover.
Oh, the album cover is ugly.
You don't like it either? No, it's so sweet. I like it that I cannot tell if the girl was being pushed to the water or the girl was just like follow me and then people are following her to the water. It feels like so much fun.
I'll
So
give them
very
this. I'll give them this.
good
She looks
color.
very joyous. She sure looks very joyous.
I feel it's very
However,
candid.
it feels very candid. Why does it have a fuck ass filter on it?
But you know,
I
it's
can't I can't see anything.
it's not a filter. They actually edited like that. Filters were not a thing in 2008 or 9.
Okay, why is it edited that? That's even worse, because at least if you slap a filter on something, it's just a click and you just let it go. If they took the time to edit this, and this is what they ended up with, well,
Agree
now I'm
to
worried.
disagree, I guess. I
Agree
like
to
the
disagree.
font, I like the picture, I like the colors. Because it's a bit grim, right? Like it's such a sweet, relaxed, like general album cover, but then the colors are a bit grimmer.
I do like the colors.
Yeah, I also like the colors because they're great. And I think it reflects a lot in the music, how yes, this feels road trippy, summery, but there are low moments with like softer introspection and sentiment of sad romance and mistakes and makes sense.
Perhaps. I don't know.
Perhaps.
The album doesn't sound like the cover to me.
Oh, you crazy.
You're crazy.
Crazy. Okay,
Um,
okay, okay. Next time around. Track one. Thoughts.
you want me to start?
Fine. I like the organic percussion.
Okay, okay.
I like that right from the start, there's multiple languages because the chorus is in Brazilian Portuguese.
Is that the
I
chorus?
like in the later half. Oh yeah,
Yeah.
that's right, it's not the chorus. You're the
I
one that
feel
knows
like
about
it's
song structure.
oh my god.
You will be surprised in how many people don't know what the difference between a verse, a chorus, a bridge, and all of that stuff is.
If
And
you
you
are
taught me a
listening,
lot indirectly.
if you are if you as a listener don't know the difference between a chorus and a verse, you too are not a part of this.
To all
This
the Benson Boone fans out there, if you don't know what a chorus is, get the hell out of here.
I really want to get Benson Boone on the podcast as a
Shut
guest.
up.
I really want him as a guest. I really do. The beginning guitar of this song is a little painfully DIY,
I believe the whole album's very DIY.
and it's a little painful
To you.
to me. Here's the
How
thing.
so? Does it feel unprofessional?
Here is the thing. Um, no, professional, unprofessional. I don't really. That's not words I use because that doesn't really matter to me whether something sounds professional. I don't need things to sound professional. I'm just saying the tone of the guitar is reminiscent of a ukulele.
Yeah.
And um
It may be a ukulele. The first
that
one.
makes it
Like the
even
opening.
worse. That makes it considerably worse. Um it just sounds it there is a very specific like I don't want to call it cringe because I don't like that word, but it's cheesy.
Wouldn't that be okay? As someone that enjoys the resurgence of the cheesy Instagram filter, millennial, wouldn't that be a fit for you? The Rio de Janeiro filter, sparkles.
No, the Rio de Janeiro filter is campy. It's not cheesy. It's campy and it's ironic. This is cheesy. And that's not necessarily a bad thing. It is just not something that I enjoy. It sounds very DIY, and then it was made and it was uploaded onto Tumblr, and
Oh,
then
Little Joy will
people.
be very big if it was around Tumblr, peak Tumblr times.
Exactly, exactly, and that's what I'm saying, you
Yeah.
know?
Okay, that I can agree with.
Yeah, but here's the thing, the beginning is a little jarring, but throughout the record, I just kind of accepted it as what it was, and I was. Because for the first couple songs in my notes, I have written down, "This sounds cheesy," and then I was like, "Okay, this is just a cheesy record, and that's fine." You know? So
Well,
I kind
yeah,
of stopped seeing that as a negative and just kind of started viewing this record as just that music, which that's not a negative in general. It is just not up to my liking.
I understand. But I thought the simple lyrics in because in this one they say, I belong to you is how it's meant to be, which gave me a bit of Matty Healy flair in sometimes it can be very simple and this is very laid out simply and pretty. I thought you would like that.
Um, I I can't talk about Maddie Healy right now. I can't get into Maddie Healy for reasons that are very different from why I can't get into Haim, but
Complete opposites, actually.
complete opposites actually. But no, I see what you are saying. It's also, that I do enjoy. I'm a very lyrical person. I lyrics are, and I will get into this later. In the context of this album, but lyrics are something that I do pay attention to, and it is like something that matters to me. Um, and I do like simple lyrics. It is a little Phoebe Bridger-esque of just kind of stating the obvious, but sometimes stating the obvious is like kind of rocks your world. And I guess you know what? I said I'll get into it later. I'm gonna get into it right now. The lyrics on this album are not.
I'm about to get sad or mad.
I don't want you to get sad or mad.
Come on, lay it on to me. Lay it on to me.
Okay, well, let me get into my general notes. Actually, I probably should have waited till the end because I haven't spoken about anything. But the lyrics are me personally, as someone who listened to this album, they are not interesting enough and they don't stand out enough to make up for the fact that I also think this album really lacks melodically and production wise.
Awesome.
So basically, what do you like about this song? Tell me. I want to hear what you like about this song. And
Which one?
maybe
The next time
the
around
first
or
one.
brand new
Yeah,
stuff? I told
whatever
you,
you want to tell me about.
I enjoy this production because it feels very organic. It feels that it was just a bunch of friends that decided to go because they were having some romantic complications in their group. They decided to go to the beach and they found a little studio made out of wood that has a bunch of sand in it. And they were like, you know what? You can play guitar. You can play guitar. She has a nice voice. Let's do a couple of songs. That's what I like. It's like very peer. It's for the peer.
And you know what? Maybe I don't like this because I hate the beach.
Yeah, this is a very beach album.
I hate the beach. So you know what? Maybe this is a me issue.
Mm.
Because also, who on earth hates the beach? Like that's a
Thoughts,
me
thoughts
issue.
on thoughts on sand.
Oh my god.
Because this is very sandy, there's some the way they record microphones, it feels like a bit rough, but it's nice for my ears.
I can't get into sand for the same reason I can't get into Heim. So, brand new start. This song was the one that was getting stuck in my head the most, and then I found myself like cooking dinner and singing the chorus. Um, and I think the only lyric I have written down that stood out to me. Yes, it seems that the only lyric that stood out to me is in this song, and it is the opening line of "Take advantage of the season to take off your overcoat." And I just really like that. I like the picture that it paints. It's so specific, overcoat. Like they could have said jacket, but they were like, we're going to say overcoat. And I do appreciate that.
I have a completely different section
Which one do you have?
highlighted. I have the love's a boat that's long been sinking, but you made the claim that taking a chance is embracing change. I count my blessings, knowing you'll take me home. For me, this is a song a lot about feeling reassured that you like the person you're with. And it's like, yeah, you know what? We're just having some refreshing time in the beach with friends. Some people are looking at you because you're very hot, but I feel very reassured that we're together. And at the end of the day, even if there's some drama in this road trip, group road trip going on, I know that you're taking me and I'm taking you.
You know, when you say those lyrics out loud,
It's better.
I do enjoy it more. I
Oh
do.
well.
So if
Maybe
someone
maybe
else,
maybe we should maybe we should record a cover of Little Joy that you actually like.
if you just record this entire album as spoken poetry, I feel like I will enjoy it more.
Guys,
And if
next week the intro will be kind of long. It'll be the exact uh minute count as Little Joy by Little Joy is just gonna be me narrating the album.
Little Joy is gonna be very little. um, I wrote down that I have so many notes. None of them are good, but
Excuse me, complaints.
I wrote down that and this is a good thing. I wrote down chorus sounds fun, comma, feels communal. I feel like I should be snapping my fingers and singing along.
Yes, yes,
And it
this
it
I
it
agree.
feels it feels like I'm on a little and by I mean the character that is in this album. I'm on a little in a little square in a little Portuguese town because remember this is happening in Portugal.
Not the
And
man.
not the man. Jesus Christ, not the man. Um, and it's a Tuesday, but it's a national holiday, so all the shops are closed, but the restaurants and cafes are, and the bars are open, and
There's
we're
probably like
all
some people selling stuff on the street,
yeah, yeah,
selling
yeah, and
sunglasses.
the entire town, because it's a small town, so this is the only square in the entire town, and they're all there celebrating this national holiday, and we're very patriotic as the Portuguese are, and we're celebrating this national holiday and we're singing. this song, and someone, has a guitar and they're playing, and then we're all singing along, snapping our fingers and kind of moving side to side. And in the middle of the town square, there's also a well. I see it very crystal clear. There is a well, and we're sitting around the well. And the well has nothing to do with anything, but I do see it, so I just wanted to make sure that you guys are seeing it too.
I like this image.
Okay. Okay,
Yeah.
good. Good. Uh then I have written down don't like the bridge melody. Um and then I have written down maybe I don't like the verse melody either? Question mark. Um and then but I have written down it's cheesy but it works. And I
Okay,
will say it does work. The cheesiness does work because it feels so communal.
I see.
Yeah,
Okay, maybe perhaps it's because I had the communal experience with this album that I kind of
maybe,
enjoyed by myself. But now you
maybe.
only had it like not in a in a group of Latinos with guitars going to the beach
No, I just had it in
in
my
your headphones.
headphones.
Yeah. I mean, at least it's summer, but I can understand that difference in how the feelings come in considering the surroundings in which we listen to this thing.
Yeah, but this song, Brand New Start, I don't dislike it and I do find myself singing. So, play the part.
This song's about cheating.
Damn
Dude,
it.
I have some new encountered feelings with this album now that I'm grown. And I was actually paying, yeah, I'm not so much like you to pay that much attention to lyrics. I only do write down lyrics when they really like are in front of me and I'm like, oh my God, this is the one. I'm not actively looking at lyrics. So, and for me, Little Joy with a passive listen, I'm like, okay, these are the melodies that I already know. I like this music, blah, blah. Now that I had to sit down and look at the lyrics, this song is so much about cheating, and it feels like the whole group that went on the road trip. And sure, they're in Portugal in a small square, everybody singing. Now they're addressing like separate ways some drama that happened of romance. Because there's this lyric that I really like that goes, and so I won't play the part in your mistake. No way, unless you stay. So it feels like somebody was having like an affair, but one of them started having more feelings, and I was like, okay, if we're only doing this as an affair, I'm out of here. But I like you or love you enough that if you stay, I'm willing to ruin our relationships for you.
And you seem to be very excited about this cheating aspect of this song.
No, it's because first of all, I enjoy the drama.
This song is about cheating.
Yeah, it is.
Does that excite you
I'm
as a
only excited because okay. I don't think this album was very thought out, but they do follow up with this like aspect or idea later too.
They do, that is true.
So I like this thread that even though it's for me such a happy, warm, local, communal album, there's still this little bit of pain because of too much loving or how love is not as simple as happy. That's why I enjoy it so much.
Well, the song is one of the only songs which I genuinely do enjoy on this album, and I feel like I have written down that this really works for them, and the DIY-ness of it really works with
The slower ones.
yes.
Okay, I can see that.
Although I don't have many good things to say about the other slower ones, but I
Oh
like this
no.
one.
You don't like? Okay, we'll get to it. But
We'll get there,
for me,
but
Unattainable is a wonderful song.
oh my god, we will get there, but I really like the
It was
harmonies.
awesome to agree with you in the first episode.
Yeah, 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 yeah. We're never doing that again. But I do really like the harmonies. I think this song is really, really pretty, and it feels like I need to. It feels the previous track was very communal. This song, it's just me. Everyone went home. It's time for the siesta. Everyone's napping, and I'm the American tourist. Therefore, I don't do the siesta, and I'm left alone in the town square, and I feel like I need to close my eyes and be very, very still. And I think
It's
the
just for
melody
me,
is
this song feels
lovely.
very confrontational. Like, yes, there's no longer people, but you're not there alone. You're with someone telling to each other your feelings, and it's not only a bit awkward, it's a bit painful in the chest.
To me, it's definitely confrontational, but it's like an inner confrontation, and I am alone, and my eyes are closed, and there is a well, but the melody is lovely,
Are you in the
and
well?
I'm leaning against it. I'm looking, I'm looking down the well.
Oh,
Yeah, that
are
is what
you
I'm
unwell
doing.
looking down the well?
Oh my god, I'm really unwell. I'm really unwell.
I'm really unwell. They're cheating on me on this song. I'm
Yeah,
looking
it's
at the well.
and it's my Portuguese holiday, and it's being ruined by cheating, and this
Yeah.
sucks. You know what doesn't suck? The next song.
No one's better sake.
Yeah.
This was like the happiest one. It feels a lot like it could be played in the beginning of a zoo visit. Because it also feels like a bit jungly, like more tropical rather than just the beach.
Yeah, I have written down well, the first note I have is this is pretty awesome question mark. And then I did write down that I like the melody and I really like his vocal delivery. It's a little bit it's a little bit smoother and cleaner. And I don't know. I like it. It is nice to listen to and it feels a little cheeky. It's like a shrug. It's like a smirk. He's kind of like, whatever, you know? He's like, I don't really care. No one's better sick, you know? And I like it.
I find it a bit genre with a reggae-ish.
Really?
Yeah, like the little because for me, reggae is mainly the quang 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 quang, and this
Okay.
has some similar like rhythm to it.
Okay,
And
maybe.
again, the more tropical bits of the beginning, it makes me feel a bit more reggae-ish, but I do enjoy it. It feels like it's the next day in the road trip, and there's a bunch of stuff that you need to do in the road trip, like, oh, you need to visit this place and that place. Things are no longer closed in this holiday. And so, and this one, I pay zero attention to the lyrics because the lyrics tell me for no one's better sake, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah, they're not saying much. You're not missing much.
Yeah, I know, I know.
Um, all right, speak about the next one.
Okay. Unattainable is the first track, which the lead vocal is the girl. I think only is the girl. And for me, it's a pleasant surprise in the album. It's always like so far we've had tracks with like slower, some upbeat, like introduction, but this one's like, okay, this is a female voice, kind of a ballad, kind of softer, and I really like the melodic way she pronounces unattainable. Go off.
I have nothing positive to say about this song.
Okay, yeah, go at it.
I'm gonna spoil my ranking a little by saying this is my least favorite. I have what I wrote down is I don't like this. Full stop. I don't like her voice. Full stop. Don't love the melody. Full stop. Don't like the lyrics. Full stop. And then a second point, because I do write this in bullet points, I wrote, I'm struggling to find anything I enjoy about this. I guess the background melodies slash harmonies are nice. And they are nice. But other than that, I don't like her tone of voice. And I'm very sensitive to tones of voice. which is a me issue. You know,
Said
that is.
said the car seat headrest enjoyer.
Oh, it's funny you bring that up.
I
It's
bet,
funny
I
you
bet, I
bring.
bet that guy will be so friends with Little Joy.
Oh my God, don't say that.
If he, if, what's his name again?
Will Toledo.
If Will Toledo will like to plan a road trip to the coast, because he, of course, he lives in a forest somewhere or in a city, uh, he will go with Little Joy.
I really don't like that you're saying that, so I'm going to move on. I'm very sensitive to people's voices, which is, for example, why, and I'm so sorry for what I'm about to say. Um, can't get into David Bowie, and I'm fully aware of the fact that he is a genius, and I respect his genius, and I say thank you, David Bowie. I thank you for your service, and I applaud everything that you have done, including that freaky gnome song. Um, but I just can't listen to it. And
Have you ever heard Beans by Kurt Cobain? You haven't?
maybe I have. I
Now,
don't know.
now that you mention a Freaky Gnome song, I'd like you to, after this, go listen to Beans by Kurt Cobain.
All right, you guys, we're all gonna do that later, but
Yeah, you have homework.
we have homework. If this song was sang by someone else, maybe I'd like it more. Although I have written down that I don't like the melody nor do I like the lyrics. So maybe this is just a done deal. And maybe we should move on to the next song,
Wait,
which
let me tell you the lyrics that I like about this one.
okay,
First,
go on,
one of
yeah.
my bullet points from Unattainable is just all caps, yes. And then I'm probably gonna mispronounce some of this, but it's I can't coerce you into this one. Jealousy, lay all your spells to bed. I'll choose unloved instead. And I think this is also circling back to the cheating and the jealousy of that's like boiling softly around this very fun trip that's happening.
You are very excited about the cheating.
It's fun when there's drama. And it's supposed to be like a perfect trip, but trips are not like that. Humanity's not like that. Latin
Here's
America
the
is
thing.
not like that.
Here's the thing. Let me just. I'm not judging you for your excitement because I too enjoy the cheating stories. They are fun. And I'm sorry to bring her up, but
Oh my God.
when Taylor Swift made illicit affairs, I I sat down and I nodded my head and I said, Taylor Swift, I have decoded your messages and I am awaiting further instruction.
So
So,
just see it as okay, the bunch of songs that refer to complicated romance here are my equivalent of that to you.
oh, for sure.
Yeah.
For sure. Shoulder to Shoulder, I either knew this song well before I sat down to listen to this album, or it sounds really similar to a song I know.
I
And
is one of the ones I play the most, but
then I
is
probably know it.
there's some stuff that sounds similar to it too.
It, yeah, it
I mean, just
sounds,
from the name and from the lyrics, it sounds like cheek to cheek, right? So it's like easy to remember.
the
But
chorus, just the melody sounds really familiar.
the she can always be wrong, she can always be right, not a matter of us, not a matter of time. That one?
Yeah,
Yeah, okay.
that sounds,
Guys, I know what is a chorus, I think.
I do wish, like, you have the first verse and you have the first chorus, and then I do wish it went somewhere. Like it did something new. I wish there was another instrumental layer added, or I don't know. I wish something happened. It feels like nothing happens. Okay, guys, we're having technical difficulties, but what I was saying
Guys, Benson Boone has hit
is
the second recording.
stop hating on Benson Boone.
I'm not hating on him. is trying to ruin our recording.
Guys, Benson Boone is out to get us, but I wish something happened in this song. It kind of feels it starts off nice, but then after the first chorus, because you have verse one, chorus one, and then I just wish there was another layer added, like another vocal track or another instrument, or it just went somewhere. I wish it did. It doesn't, and that's okay. And I like the outro. I do like the outro, but I wish it did more.
I think the later half of the album does more. Like they feel more like complete songs, even though the last one's very mellow and solitary.
I don't know. I don't
Okay,
know.
with
I don't
strangers.
know. This sounds like an indie film.
Okay, for me the full album, but yeah.
Yeah, but this specifically. I do like the chorus because of the background vocal harmonies. The verses are a little boring. It's a lot of just the same, but the chorus is nice and I do appreciate the layers. I like the layers more layers. Um, Although here's the thing. Wait, no. Let me comment on what I just said. I also understand the idea of like a mellow, a little bit like emptier, quieter album. And you know what? Maybe this is what this is supposed to be. So maybe I'm just a hater and maybe because I feel like every song I'm like, oh, I just wish it did more. Maybe it's not supposed to,
I mean,
and maybe that's
it's
okay.
little joys, not copious amounts of joy.
It's not big joy.
It's not
It's not big joy.
MDMA
It's not
joy.
very joyous. It's that it is not. But you know what? And let me pull out my AP music theory knowledge on this one.
Damn it.
This song, this song ends with a tritone. Yes, it does. Yes, it does, everybody. And a tritone is either an augmented fourth or a diminished fifth. Uh, and I would have to see it written down to establish which one it is because you can't do it from hearing. You have to see exactly which notes it is, unless you have perfect
You mean
pitch.
the ending? You mean the ending like the guitar and the piano? Because
I just mean the
it's a
last two
little.
notes.
Okay, it's like the little guitar at the end, the dun 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 dun, and then there's the piano, like a like a big boom.
Yes. And the last two notes make up the interval of a tritone. And that is all of the music theory knowledge you will be getting out of me for today.
No,
Um,
no, because that helps you
Probably,
to gun down the stuff that I like, and that's the point,
maybe.
perhaps.
I don't know. Keep me in mind. I like the
Wait, hold up,
guitar.
hold up, hold up. I like
Oh
the
my
I see
god.
no use perfecting lives with strangers because that message
Mm.
is anti-cheating. What's the point?
And does that
Yeah,
excite you?
there's a full circle. Yeah, because it's not just for the sake of it. It's like, oh wait, actually, I love this person, so I see no use perfecting lives with strangers. Huh? There you go. That's the whole thread.
This podcast is anti-cheating.
If you are cheating on your loved one right now, get
You are
out.
not a part of this. You are not a part of this. This podcast is anti-cheating, and you are not accepted as a member. But keep me in mind, as I started saying, I like the guitar and I like the drums. I like the way that they change from verses to the chorus. I like it. I like it, like it, like it. I feel like the song is actually kind of interesting, and I feel like it's actually produced,
I feel
and
this
it's
is
nicely dense. It feels finished. You,
I feel this is the hit. Like
yeah?
it is the most strokes adjacent one in the lyricism and the production and like the middle break and how they use like the guitar is super strokes.
How to Hang a Warhol.
This song is the most New York
Um,
City one.
I don't like this song.
I for me this is the
I
most cheesy
think,
one because it is like the lyrics talk a lot about, oh, I'm gonna make you proud, oh, I'm gonna do this.
yeah.
Yeah, that's cheesy, and that's not cheesy like
Well,
fun. I'm going on a trip with my friends in Portugal. It's cheesy like, oh wait, I'm on vacation while I'm disappointing my parents that are back in New York. I'm gonna tell them what I'm about to do when I come back from my
here's the
vacation.
thing. Here's the thing. It's not just cheesy because you're talking about making someone proud. It is specifically the mention of the parents. I think it is very, very difficult to mention your parents, especially your mother, as in mama. It's very difficult to say that in a song and it not be cringe. And this song did not succeed in not making it cringe. I think the only song I can think of, like right now, off the top of my head, that does that successfully is Wouldn't Mama Be Proud by Elliott Smith. Doesn't feel cringe. Doesn't feel cringe, but usually it does. It usually does. The Papa too, because verse one it's mother, mama. Verse two it's Papa.
Papa someday I'm gonna
Goofy,
write a symphony. Yeah.
goofy verse melody. I This song is not. It's not good.
I like it. I like it when it picks up a bit of pace. So it goes, Papa someday gonna write a symphony. Da 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 da. But then there's, but as long as I don't know how to hang Warhol, I'll keep sketching birds that look all like hair. I like that little bit, but I can agree with everything you have said so far, actually.
Yeah, yeah.
It's
Well,
the objectively worst song in the album for me.
okay, okay. Well, do you know what's not objectively the worst song?
Don't Watch Me Dancing.
This is, and I'm once again gonna spoil my ranking. This is objectively the best song
I
on the
literally
album.
wrote that down too. This is the most
This,
complete song. This is the best. It's not my favorite one. Here I have little arrow, best song objectively.
it's my favorite one. It's the best one. I have written down, well, hell yeah, as the first thing. And then I did lie, I guess, when I said that I only have one lyric written down because I have another lyric written down, which is Margarita has a strange appeal.
Mhm.
I just like that. I like that Margarita has a strange appeal. I love that for her. And I like. I also here's the thing. I said I don't like Binky's voice. I like it here. I like Binky. I like Binky when she sings this song. I do prefer when the "Don't Watch Me Dancing" section comes in, and I also really like the instrumental break. And I am
You mean the
not
one with
one
the
to.
ukulele?
I don't know. I don't remember, but I know I like it. So this song is great. This is the only song that I actually like added to my playlist. It actually goes somewhere. It builds. It The melody keeps changing. I I like it. I like it. Please don't watch me dancing. Great. Great, great,
Yeah.
great.
Also pretty phrasing of that.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like I'm not gonna stop dancing, but just Please don't watch me dancing.
I also like I understand. Like I'm also not going to stop dancing, but don't look at me, you know?
Mhm.
So, round of applause. Last track? What can you tell me about the last track?
Evaporar,
Mhm.
that this is my favorite one
Really?
because it's fully in Portuguese
Yes, it
and
is.
it's kind of sad and mellow, and I enjoy. When I was little, I enjoyed that so much that actively, when I was starting to have problems with sleeping, I would put this song on a loop on my headphones to help me go to sleep. So I have a very like inside of my body reaction to it always. And I like the lyrics because they talk about
And it
it's just a person being like given a retrospective of the passage of time. It's a bit about mortality, it's about what you give. It's it's justifying the carelessness of your free time, not because you don't care in general about people or feelings or things. It's just because sometimes you have no control on what happens. And it's I wrote down thoughtful carelessness. And the time is what you do with it. And sometimes you have to do nothing with it and feel things.
I wrote down pretty gosh darn lovely. But I have two questions for you. Question number one, when you listen to the song outside of the context of falling asleep, does it make you sleepy?
No, it makes me sad.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay, okay.
Did you look up the lyrics? I can translate them to you right now.
I did look up a translation. I read all of the lyrics,
Oh.
like outside the context of the songs.
Hmm.
So I did look it up. That's my second question though. Can do you know the lyrics because you looked up a translation, or do you just understand Portuguese as a Spanish speaker?
I understand it. Not because I'm a Spanish speaker, it's because when I was younger, I used to travel to Brazil a couple of times, and every single time is a wonderful time. So when I was around 12 to 17, I was actively learning Brazilian Portuguese. That's why I can understand it and talk a little bit.
Interesting, interesting. See, I've only been to Portugal once, so
So
I'm not there
so
yet,
you're the
but
expert.
I'm clearly the expert. This song is a nice way to end the album. I don't think it's offensive. I don't love it, but I didn't hate it.
Well, okay. If I was someone that heard this for the first time, I would say that it makes so much sense to make Don't Watch Me Dancing the last one because like a peak is like the
Yeah,
bigger, fuller moment, let's say,
yeah.
the most complete song.
That's such a good song.
But then I really like that Evapora is like the aftermath because there were some feelings laid around in the album, and then you have this closer, which is you alone in a guitar, like, with a guitar in like the bay. Just tomorrow you need to leave early,
The
and
Bay,
the bay
the Bay,
like metronome, yeah.
the Bay. Anyways,
So yeah, it's Little Joy.
that was Little Joy. That was Little Joy. It did bring me little joy.
It brought Zofia very little joy.
It did the job that it set out to do. It brought me little joy. I will now sum this up with my ranking.
Little joy,
Um,
big pain, big
here's
disappointment.
my here's my ranking of Little Joy by Little Joy. At number one, as I already said, I have Don't Watch Me Dancing. Number two is No One's Better Sake. Three is Play the Part. Then I have Keep Me in Mind, The Next Time Around, Brand New Start, Shoulder to Shoulder, Evaporar, How to Hang a Warhol, With Strangers, and Unattainable.
Unattainable last. Oh,
I'm very sorry to the unattainable stands. I
I
know
will
they are
put No
here
One's Better
present with
Sick
us.
last because it's just too goofy to me. But I
For
respect and
no
I
one.
accept your opinions and ideas and
And
feelings.
I accept your opinions
I can't
and I
wait
respect them.
for you to tell me what's the album of next week so I can hate on it
Well,
objectively.
it's funny you say that because the album of next week is by a little someone who you already mentioned during this episode.
Uh-oh.
Um and but it is um the album for next week is Making a Door Less Open by Car Seat Headrest.
Goodness
Have you heard
gracious.
this one?
I believe so.
Have you really?
It's probably kind of the same relationship you have with Little Joy. Probably. But on my
I
own.
never played I
I
never
know you
played this
never
album
played it
for
to
you.
me. I know, I'm aware. But I'm not. I mean, I know it, but I don't know it. So we will see.
So when I say making a door less open, do you have any initial like reaction?
I'm like, yay, Car Seat Headrest, something I don't hate.
That is an interesting reaction in the context of this album. Is all I'm gonna say. That's the preview for next week. Um, thank you for tuning in to How Old Is This? I was your co-host, Sophia.
I am a Little Joy ambassador, Julian. Wait, Sophia, can the last thing you say be evaporar again?
I don't know.
Come on, say evaporar. For the people, for the
Uh,
people.
All right, guys. Thank you for tuning
Wait,
in.
let me say bye first. Bye.
Okay. Okay, thank you for tuning in. Next week we will discuss making a door less what was it? Making a door less open? I always get this album wrong. Next week we will discuss Making a Door Less Open by Car Seat Headrest, and with that, evaporar.